right, so yes, here from this particular breaking news, Abekaye, sir. We all know the Abronye arrest and also in some FHE but Kamia Koye said one of the people apparently, John Dramani Mahama, Beba Mukrano, or the team oral board. No, I'm talking about Martin Kpebu, Menuka say, Kamia Koye say, Osheson and Semno Kwa, or Pesa Oyino, if he a year abemu. Now, it is so early, especially to a lot of people, to have this particular fallout within the New Patriotic Party, within the National Democratic Congress. Now, the argument Martin Kpebu have been making is recently, Abronye chini to him, no. It is more of a political persecution. Say, okay, Abronye kasa against a sitting government. It's no ye chinason. They are not using the law. They are just doing something to pay back. Now, if I could see some my lawyer Martin Kpebu, and also what he is citing, it is going to set a precedent. Say that in the next 12 years, if MPP should come to power, MPP, NDC members should also know, say, arrest in the Ebene times 10. And to him, no, the area Abronye Sisian, it is a political persecution. Now, he cited a whole lot of things. Charges are, yes, they are Abronye and a misdemeanor. Now, misdemeanor, ya chwa swa 3 years. Now, this is where the issue comes in. Say, a misdemeanor, usually, quarter, the first appearance, they give you bail. For the court to keep him for another 1 week, then it means, say, say okay, papa we now there's a whole lot of things after this, but before then, you could see this particular in semi free Martin Kpebu by we will definitely get into the various aspects of it.
Me share a post about 2 hours ago. Keeping Abronye DC in custody for another week is not good law. This is you do me, I do you. Then how about to this conclusion, lawyer?
Oh, sir, Obi, you are a lawyer. So you know the law, sir. Radios, Abronye is being kept for conduct conducive to the breach of the peace.
Sure.
So, misdemeanor. Not just Ghana, Bonnie, when it comes to a law, hierarchy, is one of the lowest.
Yes.
And so, in simple terms, okay, at 30 anymore. Some you say, oh, you the winning, but they trade here for.
Sure.
Under the law, no. About misdemeanor, judge now swan 3 years. But most of the time, fine. So, in other words, say, well, far, it goes from fine up to imprisonment. By imprisonment, you actually was 3 years. So in simple terms, a bonnet to at this stage, the Menyan can it's a law kind, and we are analyzing the law. Into a small offense, you see the same act 30, section 96 now. Judge the Mabela, or association. Say, let us say, a buoy panel for not yet the China, so I say, into a shiny with a such an incident in Nisra, and make him money bill easier. Say, near a such an was let's compare it to murder. Even I say, cry as a law now, most of the offenses will be cool, young Kunu, by a bare life imprisonment, Kurano. It won't say, to be, Yakasu be Kumubi, not yet the money bill. Yes, say, same way. So, before a such a life imprisonment, into judge the more beside bail now, or be way, I should say, or Timmy Bray or Ghana ha, or root, or Yere, or Ma, or Wejuma, or Wayejuma could name, say, Yama betray, and son or money bail. By a misdemeanor, or shall find your manner. On shouldn't be to say, Madame. Somebody said, Abronye also order custody for 2 weeks. They be Sadeno, Yam Peninsula. We are Ghanaians. Sadeno, Yam Peninsula. Let's be very, very clear. We will never allow this to continue. Yachi Kuku and you do, Okoka say, Ekufuado, only in the term. Nekasaye, Amapu say, Manui, at the Yentre Kuku, Yentre Nyansa. no careful this is some of those days may can say hey Kpebu I need to what the mommy and money bill say I'm out so Kpebu Jimmy we say some of oh easy anka Kpebu I need to who didn't buy and anka run ye Juma say police and ye aha obi say crowd you are in the Joy FM family
sure
and ya Kpebu I need to who Afenina Latif call her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Latif call America 2 times after your surgery.
Yes.
Next week, Obesa America build third group of surgery.
Yes.
Bills abroad $70,000. Sheka everybody. So some of these things, you know, I mean, we have to. And I can't create you. Well wishes for how person will contribute here. The last bill now at that Latifi $25,000. And you want to say, oh yeah, contribution.
Yeah.
But you be a line no more Latif because you have bread. So we've been trying to raise funds quietly. But that's our same way at the bar outside there. I say, Uto Yaria now. $25,000 or the next week or bread. And Kawanko. America, how many? About 3 years ago, free.
Yes.
All because of this thing. Say, oh, mommy and check Kpebu I need to answer. Journalists are over reporting on us. You bet training answer. So we will not allow the same law. The law is the law. Many America 8 years ago, no, and one and America, no. Abronye case. We don't have to wait till next week. We don't have to wait under the law, no. Judge to make us 1 week. But the police open here Monday on basis to me a court. Judge and him say, oh, you're right, judge, or money Abronye lawyers. Oh, yan ye can't see 1 week. I don't know, touch up, yes, it's okay. No money bill. I think we should do that. Because yes, politicians who answer. If we do that, they will take us for granted. Yes, I know the things he said, no. Oba utiba on the patro.
Yeah.
And ya no ni eka. Ya mrano na ye pete ye juma. Misdemeanor ye mfo bin tumusa. Misdemeanor ye mfo bin tumusa. Inti nsem na meka ye abra omo Kpebu anyi dohuno. Eno na meka ne 8 years ago there was it 7 years ye Kpebu anyi dohuno. It's the same thing. Ye Oliver Bakaboma ama governor you know. Ne meka eno na meka ne at 4th in trial. Abrana enkoye na ye criticize the judge if you say what as a good trade and one am repeating ne call all the cases now NDC will position ye cast the be enyemra enyam I'm repeating all today. We can't allow this thing to continue, otherwise we will have no society.
But the police would argue say in accordance with due process, no, they presented the accused person before a court of competent jurisdiction, made arguments why they think he should be kept in custody for investigations. For them, they've done no wrong.
That so into Oliver Bakaboma.
Yes.
I'm a governor and I'm attorney general Mokokai. But said by the time you know Ghana Puma attorney general Govt Dami Ebu say and Yembra. So it's the same thing. Yabema attorney general and IG who send your money and Yembra. Where the American review is your message Dr. In a message. In your way yet to my NDCU, they beat me. I cannot be part of this type of governance. No. Ni Abronye Kaino and Yembra. More money bill. If you will not forgive him, let the case go on to the end. If there's punishment now, no do. The punishment no bounce on a dorsal to do will come back and say we the other bracket a dorsal. I mean, come on, we can't allow this say politicians will just take everything. Then where is the society? I don't know what our older brothers and I was saying sorry testimony
but would you agree with Omoa Ekase? This is the IGP showing Obi our criticizing where power lies. Obejia Tumusa.
Yes, you can't run away from it. I did me or madam for I'll even from here. No, also let's send it post my ABD and Bama after this I'll send me text and say they begin to me, yes, sir. You can't Obi Obeka say they are showing him where power lies, you know. We can't contradict it. It's possible. Say they are showing Abronye where power lies. But and yet, this country, hey, this Ghana is stronger than any individual. Oh. Ghana is stronger than any individual. You were due process. So misdemeanor na Abronye won't mean bail say na. Let's just say table number 2 medical court.
It's of no use.
They are even rendering that decision useless.
Yeah.
Even bigger offenses are not. You actually say bail in what there were 12 offenses.
Yeah.
And so those days, Chief Justice Georgina Wood, any Yebua, Justice Doche, Bafu Bonnie, Nelson, and there were how many? Badegbe, Adinira.
Yes.
I'm saying no, this country, this kind of law is not law. So that I don't buy not judge no use his discretion. How many? So that was 2016. About 9 years on, no, we are rather going retrogressing. Now, Abronye misdemeanor, this is not law. As citizens, we have to get up. LCHA, we said this must stop. This, otherwise, it will lead to tyranny. Now, opposition, yes, so. Okay, so let's not retrogress. We must make progress as a nation. Abronye remand with strengthening for Monday. They can go back to court. They can go back to court. We don't have to wait 1 week. Under criminal law, judge say 1 week. But mokona adena more Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning go back to court. Now mad Abronye bail. Why one for one went to they say more brother you be asemo. I say a jato uyonko abodria. Now say one sense you into the one. You don't know what will happen.
Yeah, but one thing I found interesting, when I heard what happened in court, was the prosecution says they needed the 1 more week to continue the investigation. And I was wondering, the charges preferred against the accused person, really, what will be the investigations prosecution offensive conduct conducive to the breach of peace and a publication of false news intended to create fear and panic. I mean, the matter speaks for itself. If the video recording is the main evidence, what other investigations be your lawyer? Maybe with your experience, any other investigations be on the person? I don't know.
Yes, you have a point. You have a strong point. Yes, most of these things, it's about the authenticity of the tape.
Absolutely.
So you do that. Can he delete it? Or delete it? People already amount watching.
Yes.
Or as part of the investigations, no matching. Please ask me a police who came. Asema ya research man so mun ko country court na no anu we are still doing investigations. Kweku anyu do hote ne bae na nka ye tie mu pa na nka ekufado o man twa so saa sanka ne we nyina amba de bia ye ko kan mo ti he equalization ye ko kan mo ti equalization so na adini esida ye mamu old reference mo ti equalization and meanwhile we keep repeating mo ya sa no edro. Yeah, who can say this simple thing? I don't know, it's online. Or no, or could delete it already matching.
Yes.
You can do your investigation without him. Already enjoy it. This is a big embarrassment. And it's a sad day for our democracy.
Very well. Counsel, I just wanted to find out if the
So it's here for that is what a lawyer Martin Kpebu Eka uti sama oka or said this is a big disgrace. Number 1, 2. The Mahama is leading the country to a tyranny, which means a one-man state like Rawlings military regime. And 3, NDC is trying to use the law at their own advantage and trying to say, okay, we are in power, a bit my idea without any unchecked balances. And 4, also can some said this actually sets a bad precedent. Say the old no me yewe obi so bo bit ma ba betwa so. And at the end of the day, party say the misdemeanor charges near the abo Abronye no. It warrants him bail. Clearly, you could see said the powers that be at the top, they are doing everything possible to make sure that Abronye suffers. So Shaha, or see the tension of Abronye. I was part of the people who rigorously campaigned for the MPP to be voted out. But then I'm disappointed in the NDC government over the manner in which the likes of Abronye are being detained for minor offenses. This must stop. So Martin Kpebu Epache said, the way at which Anyema Okoso, at the end of the day, clearly, what the NDC and what John Dramani Mahama is doing right now is abuse of power. They are trying to do, or they are trying to bite more than they can chew. But say power nanka say transient. So that is exactly what is really going on in terms of the whole Abronye saga. Now, 84, you're moving on straight to the camp of Paul Adomoche. Speaking about detention and arrest, Paul Adomoche himself, have also been arrested within this particular fall. Charges said the board and say the Ghana Airport Company Limited. There was a contract there. So our contract now, which took place and which actually came to bear some few years ago when he was appointed as one of the board chair. There were some corruption related activities, of course. So subsequently, he was arrested by Yoko and also granted bail. But then in the wake of Team Ora, whether they will be effective, what they will do, and Manas Azure saying and citing say, Mahama is actually going the wrong path because Ebra Mahama by Okache Mahama says, Mahama, there are lots of cases. The law itself allows you to arrest, but the law itself also is a barrier. And no acquires a quanko. The law allow you to arrest people, but the same law will also, your friend is saying, clamp your fists, okay, and as a tie your hands for you to do or jail these people. So what you have to do, another strategy you have to do is look at the cases. Let's share the ones that quickly no bit my anyway you say fihu. And also 4 years you do not want you be and as 4 years you don't want to you can tell Ghanaians and see the law was a barrier, but then ultimately I was able to do some. Now beating their tongue. But Mahama is actually wanting to do the bigger ones, the one to me near so much which will be hard, which will be difficult for him to succeed. And Mahama, that is Mahama's first major scandal. And one person who's also singing this tune, Paul Adomoche. Now Paul Adomoche is saying, Mahama has a good intention. I want to do Team Ora, I want to arrest people. Remember, I said this particular Team Ora, there's a fallout. Martin Kpebu says, he's not happy with the way things are going. Mahama persecuting people near the other. So that is there. But then currently, in summer, Paul Adomoche, look at this. I see Ora is struggling. That is Operation Recover All Loot is struggling because proving corruption in courts is difficult. Paul Adomoche. So Paul Adomoche is saying, he knows the law. People know the law. So Urienska said, dang. Oyekululu said, dang. Contracts, Oyewuska said, dang. Proving it in courts, is difficult. Because at the end of the day, you need people to corroborate. In some or they about to say, okay, we nipa no this kind of records. The records itself, getting the record itself, cry asem. Into a party say, Oral is struggling because up until now, Team Ora or Muntiminchi nipa bakupo in Tatiamba po Muntiminchi. Now you see, ye samai at the Interpol can taba but many that's Oral is struggling because proving corruption in court is difficult. Paul Adomoche Eka. But then the same vein, Paul Adomoche also has something else to say. Yes. Or Pacha said Ghana for more expensive Team Ora will be effective. No musio ne kodana be any effective. No musio it will never be effective. It's as simple as that.
Let's see what some civil society actors said. First, we begin. Now, let me have the president. First, we begin with the president as it was over there. Yes, this is what was captured by 3 News. He said, I've been reluctant to declare a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we haven't exhausted the powers we even have without the state of emergency. I was listening to Joy this evening. I heard somebody from Forestry Commission really struggling to make the point. The interviewer was very hard on him. That what are you talking about? And civil society this morning or across the networks on radio stations have been very upset. They've been terribly upset. They're all very angry about the president's answers. Why? What do they say? Do you have some for me? Let's go to the civil society one. They're going to put it up, and then we look at it. This is the first one. This is by Manasseh Azuri. It's not that long. Let's read it. President Mahama has been brilliant tonight. From his first term and now, President Mahama has always demonstrated a strong grasp on all the sectors. He is not the kind that can be easily fooled by a minister or an appointee. On Galamsey, however, he has been very disappointing. The decay did not start in the last 8 years of Akufo-Addo. As the president said, I was a journalist when President Mahama was president. In his first term, I did not see the seriousness in fighting the menace, and his body language doesn't seem to show that it will be any different. The land that is destroyed because of Galamsey can produce food crops, so we should stop creating the impression that the only alternative to illegal mining is deviant acts, as the president said. Why disband the IGP's task force instead of just asking them to verify permits when they visit a site? Which sites did the task force invade that turned out to be a legitimate mining concession? Mr. President, so far you have done well. Ghanaians are beginning to hope again in many sectors, but unless after listening, I don't get that word, but after listening to you tonight in the fight against Galamsey, I feel more hopeless after listening to you tonight. That is from investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri telling President Mahama that after the answers he heard the president give, he, Manasseh, feels hopeless. Okay, this one is my best. It comes from Suleiman Brima, who is the Media Foundation for West Africa's executive secretary. He says, Akufo-Addo fought Galamsey harder than Mahama's current government. Suleiman Brima fires. The other day, I said, one day, it's turning out to be sooner than I thought. We will come back and talk about Akufo-Addo. One day, very soon, when things settle, and we now can feel, and I've seen it. I saw the berating of J.A. Kufuor in 2008, what everybody said. Today, everybody says Kufuor is a hero. We will come back and see that sometimes the heat of the situation, sometimes the anti-propaganda, which can be vile, can even be evil, it can cloud our imaginations given the economic circumstance. And then it sort of takes away the real judgment that we should deliver. Otherwise, how is Suleiman Brima? I'm not done with Suleiman Brima. Let me finish with it. How is Suleiman Brima talking about Akufo-Addo in a positive light in reference to John Dramani Mahama? It is only because he has seen John Dramani Mahama's governance, he's seen Akufo-Addo's governance, and so he sits in a position to be able to do the analysis. And in his context, relating to Galamsey, which is one of the pivotal points for which the NPP lost the election, one of the pivotal points for which Dr. Baumia was outvoted and people didn't even turn up, one of the pivotal points which was heaped on Akufo-Addo, and it was said that Akufo-Addo's presidency is the worst that Ghana has ever had. Worst that Ghana has ever had. The one who introduced a major social intervention policy. They said that his government is the worst that Ghana has had. And that was heaped on Dr. Baumia, of course. Today, in September, Suleiman Brima says, Akufo-Addo fought Galamsey harder than Mahama's current government. Ooh. Is it true? I don't believe it. Is it true? Let's go to Pinaxtv, what he said. Pinaxtv said something. Yes. He said, the story is that, he says, President Mahama's response on Galamsey fights is disappointing. The Ghana Coalition of Galamsey has criticized President John Dramani Mahama's response to the country's ongoing illegal mining crisis, describing his comments during Wednesday's presidential encounter as uninspiring and failing to reflect the urgency of the environmental emergency facing the nation.
So that was a year in summer, a year Paul Adomochi or the Betuja. Clearly, you could see, sir, there is a lot of questions at ECOSO. Already, you know, people are saying, sir, Mahama's government is failing just after 8 months. The hype, the dollar, the Galamsey fight. Less than a year, Ghana first attack. I said, Akufo-Addo ankasa no, okay, he was a man a chance and because according to people and the likes of Paul Adomoche, Martin Kpebu and Co, no say Ghana for us started having the friend buyer's remorse. Say adena ye ton ye na omokoto ye no isomu nu omo ho. See they are getting the vibes of Meyeri Dada ane. Vibes no munyan ekwakoye Meyeri Dada vibes. Such as these are definitely very serious questions. People want to ask what is really going on in terms of the Mahama administration. So that is exactly what is really going on. But then definitely you need a dissemination because we want to make sure that at the end of the day, whatever is going on, we have all the full details into it. Once again, we are live. We'll be very happy. So they'll comment because in some day be any day bro in the next 2 hours minimum and so quickly we'll be moving on to another critical issue because Kamiako say this whole issue of Abronye it is something now which is gaining more attraction and people are reacting to it day in day out. I just say clearly ubia ednini sha me no ka say crime before akwa report on this particular matter to the UK government. So the latest in regards with Abronye's arrest is that MPP4 say next week and next 2 weeks, because next week 19th Abronye be court bium now kwani amani bail the next week Tuesday, that is 23rd MPP4 will be hitting the streets to demonstrate over Abronye's arrest. But then in all of these things so now who understand people to hit the streets on 23rd September over continuous detention of Abronye. In all of these things the ababe to just see Kevin Taylor part say yes, if the MPP wants to fool in this country, and this for Trump, because you see word on the ground is that they are expanding the prison cells to arrest thousands and 10,000 of Ghanaians who will be demonstrating against the sitting government, against the IGP, and against the detention and arrest of Abronye. Because Ubi Jimmy Bia say Kenya Japan Baumia, the law will arrest you. You go take Kevin Taylor
NPP to stage demo on September 23rd or 23 or 23rd, let's say that way, over arrest of party executives. I want to passionately plead with the IGP. NPP forces September 23rd, omo demonstration because omo trimuno NDC ne abanwe echichi omo party executives egum. I am pleading with the IGP. I am pleading with the Ghana Police Service. With all due respect, allow them to go on demonstration. The Pacho IGP, do not, with all due respect, if even security-wise, try and find a way to give them all the security for them to demonstrate. We need to give MPP all the room to demonstrate. In fact, in Ghana, we are supposed to allow everyone or what some intentions so person demonstrate only adwene boni bia. So Minaigu from IGP, I am pleading. Please, the Ghana Police Service, when the NPP comes, say omo permission to demonstrate, please IGP, 23rd, no more chance for them to demonstrate. Do not block anybody or the NPP from demonstrating. They need to express themselves. We are living in a democratic state. We have a president who believes in democracy. We have a president who wants to listen to everyone. If the NPP, emuno, so be executives gum into I am pleading with the IGP with all due respect, say nobody should hinder, stop, block, try to stop the NPP from demonstrating. In fact, I am encouraging the NPP to get on the streets of Ghana and demonstrate because it's in their right to demonstrate. Say omu fili say bibi nkoye. I'm using this platform to respectfully send this message to the IGP. The NPP are saying they want to come out in their numbers on the 23rd. They want to demonstrate peacefully. They want to walk on the streets of Ghana and tell Ghana for say their executives are being arrested. Let us give the NPP the room to demonstrate. I am pleading with the IGP. I'm pleading with the government. In fact, this is not the work of the government. This is the work of the Ghana Police Service. They should give the NPP all the necessary support to demonstrate. All that I'm asking from the NPP, and I say, Ghana Police Service, that opportunity, that right to demonstrate, they should make sure they demonstrate within the law. Nobody should think, say, because they are demonstrating, no, they can take the laws into their hands and misbehave. That is why I am pleading. I am pleading with the IGP. I am pleading with the Ghana Police Service to allow you to demonstrate. You are Ghanaians. Mo ho kwan say mo be demonstrate achire nyoma bia mo bonjo so. It is your right. You can go to the police formally and tell them this is what you want to do, and the police should look at your statement, your permission, your petition, whatever you want to write. They should analyze it, sit with you, and draw a plan for you to demonstrate peacefully on the streets of Ghana. Now, my advice to the NPP followers and the executives, you need to watch your statements. You need to make sure you don't incite anybody during your demonstration. You don't make statements that basically tries to create the impression that you want people to feel unsafe in Ghana, that you want this country to get into a ditch, a chaotic period. You don't want this country to have some kind of turmoil. Your statements should not draw any attention to say the mopese or mine into kwasim ana obiko di boni. So be careful what you say during the demonstration, how you conduct yourself during the demonstration. You need to demonstrate within the law. And say obia breaking rana. You need to understand, say, Yawamra ebo Ghana ho ban, and especially people in Accra, mube demonstrate here. Almost so they are going in and out doing their business, your politics. And see, I will plead with the IGP, with all due respect, say, with all due respect, please, whatever you can do to support the NPP to demonstrate, it's in their right. Let us give them. The same way it is in their right to demonstrate, it is always important for them to also have at the back of their mind to say, Yawo emra wo Ghana. You will be a friend of felony. You will be a friend of misdemeanor. You cannot incite people through your statement. You cannot make a statement or mind baby attention bebem. These are all emra ewo Ghana. So won committee emrana na se undi sa bonena, you will not know baby as amra no do bekwa kudu. Before you people get on the street to demonstrate, I'll be happy the day before, you can go on social media, on TV to read emrano to your followers that this is emra ebo Ghana ho bra. If you break it, you have to understand the police in Chiwa. You cannot come and say obi e tatao. The NPP leadership, you people have to sit your people down and explain the laws of the land. Dia woka edubetum rem, dia woka edubeko fiase, dia woka etiamra, ya wo emra bebre wo Ghana. Ya wo emra bebre wo Ghana. Dia befiri wano aba, se wa mane mfiri wano amba yi a utumi nya asem e wo police nsem. Se wo demonstrate na uye nyame bi a emfa kwan mu a utumi ekoda fiase. Se uye nyome bi a ukuta nyome bi eto nyome bi etu okuta o uye bibi hunahuna nipa odi ehu ehye nipa emu a sebio Ghana emra wa ha ekire sa nyome ni nyina se ubu sa mra no so ade ebetuma ayew se uye demonstration a attack obi won nchen na police chiwa Ghana mra no wode ewo se ede wo faso nti ewo se MPP as a political party no sa 23rd September demonstration we no ewo so almost start constituency by constituency. Na omu preaching no mu chire mra ni mu chire omu supporters are ready to come and demonstrate because so ukodi MPP demonstration echi. Na demonstrators no ebu mrem na emra so mu a. You rest assured so be come no less than 5 years. As much as you part for the demonstration to go on, I was also who say emra bi wo Ghana. Enya dia obebu mra no so. enya dia obeka kasa bi a edi eyamhihye beto obi so enya dia obeye eniamo nsam during the demonstration sa nyoma emi kan odwen say agro na during the demonstration no sa ubo careless ukobo police ni te say the afenyoma kimbo police ni asum na ubeko jail wey me konti amenya abotre a me kirechire mu akire mo because police for no bebo akire wo police station min marikudie ti amenya abotre eye ne kakra every say uko demonstration no na ukoye nya ho nsam na say ukoye bone na ye kyewa police for bebo show we akire wo Ghana Police Service headquarters o mebo akire wo wetie o mebo wo TV so mo ahwe say Kevin Taylor ka kire wo ade a wonti ase memfa wo hunjim ade a wonti ase memfa wo hunjim se woni obi obeka wa asema ma wa memfa wo hunjim se wo fie nya memfa wo hunjim because IGP Yohonu obe release the police tie bitono no obe release the police for your protection. Now that same police no if you flout the law they will make sure emrani ni wedi. Inti don't underestimate the police. Inti demonstration day, I am begging the IGP, they should support the NPP to go on that demonstration. Yen nyina ye Ghana for yen tumi nka obia kasabo anhye ne yem. Say bibi cause na how na so person ye kira you should be able to do it. Under John Mahama, democracy is free. But when you abuse democracy, you become the culprit. When you try to abuse democracy, you become the culprit. Then democracy become your enemy. Democracy is for everyone. Or to say onyankopon. So why you say obebu onyankopon kwase a onyankopon be your enemy or be your tamfo. If you say want to me and so onyankopon ebufu ano kwan. Want to me so the bufu ano. Democracy to say onyankopon. Odo bia na we wa agene say wodi nanim betwitwi foma. E wona bon so onyankopon dane ne ho nim and on the other side of onyankopon no kire wa untumi nso ne bufu ano ene na democracy sa na tie. And as much as you all have the right to demonstrate and live in a democracy, don't try to abuse democracy, because if you try to abuse that democracy will be your enemy and you cannot stop it. Adebako is dangerous when we are saying any democracy that is angry. When a democracy is angry, it is dangerous than a tyranny. Inti you don't pebe maun, but making sure say you work within the law, you stay within the law. A woman and a woyen, they are two different things. Ya MPP for and I me MPP near me will be dimechi and nyoma mienu. Tie me, ya MPP for MPP for and me MPP near me will be tamechi are two different things. Ubet my MPP ni now will be your tawichi ube dim. Obi ya MPP ni obi tadechi yebeka na asema mama no enti obanyansafo dwene demonstration de MPP beye arrival departure yaba ni yebekọ ne brofo enye big deal bia ye bompa ye IGP ba mo kwan na mo mu demonstration no alaji fa we to small mo na kiro.
So yeah, that was Kevin Taylor in Sema Odituja. Clearly, you could see the issues are ekoso yedika mam warning there is a lot of things are ekoso. Na niema na ekoso no. What they are saying is that our demonstration the new patriotic party almost 1 more year for their own person Abronye no. They basically have to be very, very, very careful, because at the end of the day, if you flaunt the rules, then at the end of the day, what will happen is that the law is going to deal with you. So this and a whole lot of things are there is in Simpia in regards to demonstration. And I'm seeing say even before I say crowd and I say Baba recording, they were calls and amount for air patches say, in all of these things are air cost no a MPP one way or the other they are breaking the law. So that is exactly what is really going on. We live to see the aftermath of it. Would Abronye be giving bail? And I say at the end, because lawyers for be brave. One more omunim branding some MPP, some NDC people are even saying say Abronye Kamiakwe say it's like they want to teach him a lesson rather than doing the right things. Okay, the law itself will work. So at the end of the day, we live to see, mede maso atoto fam matete say as early as Monday yebeja Abronye. So we are looking at all of this. According to source Bonparte said the police is saying say they don't need the courts to give Abronye bail. They can give Abronye bail themselves. So as early as Monday, they are going to fast track Abronye and give him a bail. So that is exactly what is really going on now. You need indemnity. Yeah, you need indemnity power. Remember more updates as all of these various events continue to unfold. Moving on to Nigeria, there's something going on. The course of Nigeria will be a friend Hilda Baci. So Hilda Baci basically is a Nigerian a chef who cooks. But what we saw some few years ago was that she came out to say she's going to do the longest cooking in history, and ultimately she won that record, and ultimately that record was broken. But then this same woman, Hilda Baci, is out again, and she's saying that she's going to cook the biggest jollof in terms of the cooking, the quantity of food, the biggest jollof in the history or perhaps in the whole wide world. So what you are seeing is an excerpt because she collaborated with Gino, which is with Gino. Basically, what we know Gino for in Africa is that they are a tomato paste company. So she partnered with Gino to cook the biggest jollof in terms of quantity in the history of the world. And then clearly this is actually trending on social media, because if you go on Twitter, as at yesterday, as you are seeing on the screens, even here in Ghana, you see that Guinness World Record was trending #1, and funny enough to Hilda Baci was also trending. Now there are videos involved because at the end of the day, something happened during the time and Hilda Baci finished cooking because they wanted to weigh it, and ultimately the food kind of broke down, like the pots kind of broke. But nevertheless, Guinness World Records issued a statement. It says, "Was cooking. Best of luck to Hilda Baci, who is attempting a new record for the largest serving of Nigerian style jollof rice today." So Guinness World Records is saying, hey, this is exactly what is really going on. But then before we continue, we would like to take a look at what really happened. Now, this particular thing that did happen was when the jollof apparently was done. So they were weighing the jollof, okay, up in the sky. They were using a crane, and then the cooking pot itself broke down. The cooking pot broke down. Now, many Nigerians are also talking about this issue because they believe that what's the essence of all of this? What's the importance? But before that, we have a video here. Let's just take a look at this particular video. When we come back, we will continue with this particular issue.
It's just the leg, relax. Don't protect them. Those people that did this thing, they are there. Don't know how to relax. Okay, know what happened. It will come. It's okay. Relax. This is effort.
So that's also you saw that when the rice was done, they wanted to weigh it. I mean, for the people who kind of certify this record, and what they realized was that the whole bowl came down. Now there's this video too that shows when the whole jollof was kind of done. Let's watch this particular video. When we come back, there are some Nigerians, like some Nigerian celebrities, who are actually bashing Hilda Baci that the way she did the food, the cleaning of the pots with the mop, with soup, it's not hygienic, and she having her feet inside the whole cooking pot qualifies to disqualify her in the first place. But then let's just have a look at what really happened when this whole food was done.
This Hilda Baci, biggest spot of jollof, just exposed Nigeria as a poor and hungry country. See the way people mad, they queue, they cry. I never, just to eat ordinary jollof rice. It never reached me. When I start jollof rice for me now, when they queue, they cry. Just to eat ordinary jollof for Nigeria. This thing is a sign. Nigeria is a poor and hungry country. You know understand? My advice to Hilda Baci, if you know Hilda Baci, tag her to this video. They say Adino is the last comment of a fool. If to say I know before, I for this to get advice. You know understand? You are giving so much attention, energy and money to things which not really today important to the society. What is this your Guinness record? What how is it contributing to Nigeria? This your record and Big Brother Niger now the same thing, diverting the attention of the youth into things which not really today important for the country. And for me, that rice way they cook, that rice is more of quantity over quality. Not be say they put rice for inside water a done. Now be say you cook jollof rice. Because I see where they use a bucket, I mean based in the ingredients they go the other side because the pot was too big. So you are giving so much attention. Last time you break the record, Nigeria supported you, and now you don't come again with the same format. Now only Guinness record you sabi break. You're not gonna know if you do with your life. Eh? I be the Guinness record where you they break. So it's more important that the first in Nigeria not get light. There's no job in Nigeria. Eh? Now, if we continue to encourage things like this, now you don't do them again now. If we encourage, before you go look now, one girl will come from nowhere now, they say, the girl with the biggest BBA in Nigeria or in the world. You know how Nigeria girls do, because they always look for easy way to escape poverty. You know, so my advice to you, if you want to become successful in life, the next thing you are supposed to do, I expect you with this so much money you are wasting on things like this, use that money to open Eat and Go Eatery, where the homeless and the poor can easily come and eat without paying. That's your contribution. And that's humanity go value for a lifetime. You say Eat and Go Eatery, where poor Nigerians, hungry Nigerians can go and eat free jollof rice. Then if you go there, you eat, you don't pay. Do something like that, and Nigeria, the world, go appreciate you for life. God bless you.
So I think we have 4 guys now.
It's not just about cooking as an art. It's about unifying people. It's about unifying people. It's about making people come together to celebrate the oneness of Nigeria.
So that was it. Hilda Baci's record. Currently, we live to see what Guinness World Records will say in regards to if she has really broken the record. So that is one of the news, or that is the news just currently trending in the whole of Africa. Currently, Hilda Baci is really trending, and a lot of people are actually reacting to this in various ways that they can. So that is the issue that is currently ongoing. And then we live to see what will really happen in regards with her record, even though there are questions as to whether this particular record, the whole thing that she's doing, as to whether it's really important in today's world or not. But regardless, Guinness World Records believe that this whole issue is a good thing. So in Sema Ewoho, in terms of Hilda Baci, no. And definitely, you need the indemnity, because at the end of the day, we are all watching what will really happen. We are all watching reaction on social media, and also the way forward. We are still live. My concerning this particular issue, because me saying there's another issue at the top, so you want some right here on this particular platform. Now. The update be bremo about the whole Israeli Qatar bombing of course. So ultimately what we saw was say Nkrofobi at the end of the day, and as Israel for at the bomb got 2 bomb Qatar, and according to them, they were only doing so to target the leadership of Hamas. So the leadership of Hamas, now basically, October 7th attack, of course, so, Israel border last 2 or 3 years. Forgive me if I'm not really precise. Now, conflict, of course, so what we did saw was that it came to notice, Palestinian and America Hamas, which is US Abronye almost a terrorist group or more, omudi sansem ne chia na so mo ta sa ne ma ne chia sabi at the end of the day be na nkofo bebre ewu na me no ka say there's an update about, because Ghana actually voted an omucho letter ebra Israel foko Bombay Israel foko Bombay Hamas leadership Qatar no the letter ebae na sabra me no ka say information for Asamba, because Kamia Koya say Okudo Blackwa on His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. They are so much fixated on this whole Hamas Israel-Palestinian conflict. Among forecast, so let's forget about this. Let's concentrate on the best thing here. They are the Ghana. It's the looking thing say still now the Israel for yen. Now let's put this on the screens. What you are seeing on the screens, the fresh update is coming from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okuduto Ablakwa. Inti Ediana Samuel Okuduto Ablakwa wabeka. Now this is the first fresh attempt, okay, by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ghana, giving an update on almost stance, okay, giving an update on almost stance about the whole Israel-Palestinian conflict. Now, share screens no so some could do to a black post way some few hours ago. So Ghana was part of a formidable 142 nation coalition voting at the UN today in favor of a peaceful resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and renewing our unflinching belief in the two-state solution as the only viable path forward. Ghana will remain a credible global voice for peace, as we have always demonstrated since the founding of the non-aligned movement in 1961 and consistently contributing to troops for UN peace operations from 1960. So what Okuduto Ablakwa, President of the Republic of Ghana, in some of the Ababe Tujanis, apart from sending a letter to Israelis and also the whole world said, now Israel for attack or muka attack Qatar, not Qatar the nation, but most of them attack a section of Qatar and almost targeting the leadership of Hamas. No, ultimately we are hearing say some people clear and our leadership of Hamas be more familiar. No, Ghana for condemn say Israel for money any moral right to do that, and then no me no can say Kamyako say Ghana is taking this whole thing a top notch and I say a step further because omuko PM UN no. What we are learning is that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs voted for a year Palestinian, and as I voted in favor of the whole two-party states are ECOSO, and as the whole two-party state are Palestinian for so Ghana. At the end of the day, no, and as the whole world, no, let Palestinian be on its own. It's Palestinian and Gaza and share a year Israel for us. So that is what Okudu to Ablakwa Edibe 2 just say picture say a war screens no so as you can see omuya voting no Ghana ye for vote yes. Now me no ka say so no obi ababe kasa nipa ababe kasa in all of this no yankasa Pan-African TV CEO Kwesi Pratt or Pacha say amanfo bibre kase Mahama de no for Israel and Palestinian conflict in Semu, but then in reality what Mahama is doing is the best because Ghana should side with the Palestinian states because what Israel for yen enye. Now you will share the video to that effect because in some of the debate to journal their calls amanfo kase Mahama has a whole lot of issues. Yanka say aboboano your border has secret your issues I was here dealing with. But then regardless, Nyanko tie in sema Kwesi Pratt edi tuja on the Pan-African TV. Ye better us because there is a lot of questions as to whether this is the viable path Ghana was here take it or not.
Undoubtedly, this is one of the most reckless actions that the apartheid regime in Tel Aviv has taken. Undoubtedly. And it is interesting that this action has been roundly condemned by everybody, including the staunchest ally of Israel. Indeed, President Trump of the United States of America condemned this action in very, very strong terms and saw it as a violation of the sovereignty of Qatar, an attempt to subvert efforts at brokering peace in the Middle East. Now, the details of the attack are shocking. Qatar has been acting as the mediator in these talks, sponsored largely by the United States of America and between Hamas and Israel. So Qatar, to all intents and purposes, is not hostile to Israel. And if deep within the Arab world, there have been massive criticism of Qatar and its tolerance for Israel and so on. Then, Israel's target was those it was negotiating with, negotiating the peace deal with. It decided to kill them. I mean, obviously, the intent is to subvert the peace process and to facilitate an ending war in the Middle East. And it's absolutely senseless. Look, given the fact that right now the count has reached about 70,000 people dead, 2/3 of the 70,000 are women and children. Throughout history, no war has led to the killing of.
So that was a year Kwesi Pratt in some of you to just say Israel for Ghana should stand on the right path and join the Palestinians because Kamya Kwaye say Israel for the omo crown omo richest and omo biggest ally United States komo chom if you so clearly he's also saying say what this whole thing and this whole conflict are Ghana we are in the right position to condemn the actions and inactions of Israel. Now the UN a year at screens but before then Israel forcing the kind of tuja almost some of the one about Ghana for say Ghana be in the middle, and this came from the Israeli ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Roy Gillard. Or say, Mr. Roy Gillard warns that Ghana involving in the Israel-Palestinian politics could jeopardize the strong relationship between the two nations. He urges Ghana to maintain neutrality to preserve this vital bond. So already, Israel Air Party said they are not happy with the way and manner Ghana for, especially the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and your better sorry, yes, boy, Mahama and Crawford, is here, and almost so they are for a friend is saying. They are for Palestinian, and I say we are condemning Israel. And the question is, time Gaza and Hamas omuku Israel for in unprovoked attack. No, why didn't Ghana come out to speak? As you see, into Omupa say no problem. Ghana is a sovereign nation, but you see, I will see who say we need to be in the middle. We can't be taking sides when we want. So, and also a warning about. I don't know. Be most a patch say enye di Ghana for enye di because around our border, yeah, border Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire border. Niema koso wo ho no. Enya asem ketwa. The things going on at our borders, enya asem ketwa. Intimi enka ho nsem wiye. And ye kwa kokan Israel-Palestinian eyi. So we share the whole screen so Ghana you vote yes, okay, at the end of the day no in some koso no Israel-Palestinian conflict no Israel for some actions na ya too much. It is becoming too much. Ebeyanka Israel for njai no mo allow Palestinian for no mutimi ye de omope. And a man for say, hey Mahama, baby we do ni. Mahama, is this where you've reached? There are better things our buying say omoye, and then the mo for it unnecessary things and near Sebio, it is not going to be of any benefit to you. So that is one of the things that definitely, you know, what I can tell you is that there are a lot of reactions to this. People are reacting, and at the end of the day, you know, we live to see if Ghana we vote, you know, so be so in terms of your bilateral trade. And if you care to know, Israel really helps us more than Palestinian, because Palestine for no Sebio, country, you know, and developed. Sa into muniska kra omede show sa na omabe Ghana but Israel have been a very good support of Ghana. Sisi anse na niema kono bitmaka say it is putting our peace process at risk. So that is exactly what is really going on. Now moving on to what is going on as you can see on the screen, you know, just yesterday it was reported say a heavy downpour of rain across Madina Okponglo area. Now during that same time too, now President John Dramani Mahama, as you have seen on the screens, now it was so cool program. Now the scenes are across on social media and honestly sad because send a convoy you could see someone to down there or chef obi so busy. Also saying you know, but Mahama moka ni adiade no as taxi a parke ni adiade no Mahama moka no e wo soro and na oma Mahama mo thumbs up no Mahama mo V8 no e wo soro as you can see V8 no e wo soro ama e fa e pothole mu ni nsuo mu create mi ko whereas a man for car a choke ni taxi a choke ni Mahama de otimi twem and na man for car say Mahama, have you seen your recklessness? You came to Ghana every year biano flood ekoso. Now flood na koso instead of you to address the issue, no, you are busily moving in with your 100 and so convoys. Ghana ni pa share video na esas Ghana ni or the containers or the bucket na essence you. How can you sad you go here? But regardless, na Mahama ni eche program na oko. Now the funny thing is sa program ya na Mahama Mahama could do BBC yes because could do ope Mahama esifi ne ka mu a nsuo elbon no ye de umbrella man no chi umbrella some fan umbrella ne mame na Ghana fo anka se me nya acho yen kwhwe video ba we'll look at some of the reactions.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, round of applause ladies and gentlemen, as is received by our esteemed hosts. Ladies and gentlemen, keep the applause going, as the highest gentleman of the land draws to.
We take the umbrella first. Let's go back.
John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause please. The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. A round of applause ladies and gentlemen, as is received by our esteemed hosts. Ladies and gentlemen, keep the applause going, as the High Gentleman of the land draws to.
We take the anthem first. Let's go back.
John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please.
So that was it. But we told you, sir, Mahama was heading towards a program, and I know co-program. And I same way, you know, I see time or offense soon could do or G umbrella and make a lot of waves. Now, and Sembe na Mahama Ediko Tuja, we have some of the excepts. Ewa has here, in Semba Mahama offense soon mean or the Tuja. We are learning say it was a programmer na Mahama Echo, and definitely no one is against Mahama. Being a VA, they said you as a country there, what you need to protect is your leader. Said you are him from Ketua Krano or Muko Bibia bodyguards need to any idea diomechi na a Ghana. So there's really nothing wrong with it. But then the timing of all of these things, no, the amount forecast, it is something which is a bit more questionable in this particular day and age. We are trying to solve all of these issues. It's young in Sema, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Or the Tuja during this particular program, Okoya, people have criticized the way and manner as a Mahama government, you know, it is falling apart within this particular few times. We are learning says our program na Mahama Koya and Kukon Kitting program and Kukon Kitting you could see a video by a bet to us.
Next month, we are going to launch the Nkukon Kitting project, and so we are going to build processing plants in different parts of the country. And the first processing plant is going through procurement. And once the procurement authority approves it, we will start to construct it. Other parts of the country would also have processing plants. So when we buy the chicks off you, we'll take them to the processing plants, we'll process the chickens and package them nicely with Nkukon Kitting brand on them, and then we'll supply them directly to the supermarkets and to the cold store owners who sell chicken. This will help us to cut our huge poultry import bill. We should be able to produce enough poultry to feed the whole of Ghana. Once the Nkukon Kitting project takes off, we believe that in 3 years, we'll be producing almost 100% of the chicken that we eat in Ghana ourselves, so that we can stop bringing Nkuko Funu from outside. We don't know how those chickens were raised. In many of the countries, they use genetically modified chickens. In many of the countries, they inject the chickens with hormones. We want fresh Ghanaian grown chicken so that our people can live a healthy life. Every household.
So that is it. As you can see, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama program on Lanchi and Ed and Kukon Kitting. And the rain was heavy. The rain was heavy, pa. So this particular Nkukon Kitting project, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Lanchi, and a decofa in Sembibri, ebaye. Because when John Dramani Mahama was on his way to the program, as Isan Yedika Echel no announced screens no so time and a convoy ne eba efa the Madina enclave ne isu atopay. Now the site of it say isu top na afedi at the end of the day no cars near obi ntimi come back na Mahama ni V8 on between machine because omo car na was sro and the fact say no obi kwa ejina ho a all sense you nsu na e to no say gu hin se na be an car be ko dwen crown tia say Mahama efa car de mu eye hwim. Now one of the things we also did saw was say bra no utwe mu no kra no you saw that the person nipa no kra Mahama thumbs up. Clearly the love is there, but then clearly too people are saying say something needs to be done in regards with the flooding in this country ekoso. Regardless, the new patriotic party or more members ni be are started a buying cheaper. They are saying say Mahama ye yamau say uba bemu indeed 1 year, but 6 months is enough for us to see something. Into no menu ka say the video ocean if you MPP faithful wa Mr. wa fache me pa o kan sem bibire wo mu ebi mu pa de ebi pa de na say or hete Mahama ne attempt. So take that attempt off ni nti lady nsem no se sabi nsem na o kan nyansa wo mu anase ni ti na esi ni ti ni ti na esi ni kon so no nyansa bi enim at the end the tin sim we will be able to judge. But we have a breaking news from Burkina Faso because Burkina Faso are blocking Ghana from entering their country. Yes, that is the breaking news at Eba. In video Eba to us.
Adam the yesin president awe Jimmy o. Adam yesin president Mahama awe Jimmy. Because anye biano Adam no yebema wedro, but Jimmy die unye dro no wasa ye president na we Jimmy. Enkola ne bedi watem. Because president we Jimmy nkwa na bebo pa ebebo mrantie pa se omuni diatem omuntwitwa ntwanto so ntumpanifo so president na otiso no yemfa nsem ento ne so ne ndi natem otumfo nyamekasi oti ne baabi no yendidi natem mpanifo atitiri any tribes ahodo yendi omu atem Emma yefa ma animunya fom ni omu atem regions bi wo ha ye ni omu atem because omu Jimmy ombeto ama MPP na sa president Jimmy fuoyi Mahama Jimmy ntino na asotwea basa nipa no meyi ne ho ano a washeda pa ma ye chief justice free ho se de beya sa kana na de we sa de we ya Jimmy for president no opese o ye nti o twantwan to so toto amanfo so digi omunyuma free omunsem kofo no ankofo begu ho ni nyina Ghana for say sa president we ye hwe no because o ye leader ye respect no because o ye leader Mahama sa edua na udua ye asoabo asuaba ana wucha enti milinash me say me ma wa taste your own fruit sa ye de ye obi na ye wo dadia ye de beye wo beka hwe wo beka insult na hwe style bia bi what you say enti get ready me de amwa ne de bi ni omu adaje me hwe omu mpo imponchi ni mrechire na sabre oma kunkon no mu ye yi no me hwe hompo wodon sa to abriwadua mu no Mahama ubedi wo yonko be ye president na se yemfa nanim nya fom na edru so a we mu omo ye den they are fighting for you omo bua kura enti no bodam ne de mani je ho che president awa Jimmy se me Jimmy fo se ya yensa me yare de ene me bodam a mepe enti no se mo pese adam no etutwa maka kire Mahama me hia me 10,000 pounds akoto me medication this are videos ne de mo amutufu no se den yo wanti bi ankotu Kevin Taylor fo ne de afutu no memfa se mutu no fo so no wantie de a menso memfa edu tama meba Ghana me se mekokochia Mahama kwasiafo nwan mrechire
Inti ono so de no MPP for a patch say attempt no etumtwada because Mahama started it. Now I was telling you said there was a breaking news and now there is a breaking news as Ghana's border with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso since the inception of Ibrahim Traoré their reaction towards Ghana omu neighbor has been very hostile. Which show me Burkina Faso I say Omone Ghana Yonko Fano, acco a new law, and a fem cram. And Canada we were like brothers, we were like sisters. But now Ibrahim Traoré, a buyer during the Akufado's era Osha Akufado he being the Kuas chair boy Ibrahim Traoré he said you are not a legitimate government because the coup d'etat and a bar bemu. Into a mama penny saying Burkina Faso a lot of restrictions. Ama echi kran omu yi Burkina Faso efi ECOWAS mu na Burkina Faso ankasa any film one way or the other. But then regardless, Burkina Faso is almost can't ECOWAS biom almost sanema bebre, and they feel like ECOWAS ankasa no emboa omo mind because other numbers na hona a particular country day in day out no ECOWAS intina a president for omu disika ECOWAS intina president for omu ye corrupt. These are issues Burkina Faso omu raising. So relationship with Ghana was very low. But John Dramani Mahama ebaye no he saw invite Ibrahim Traore to the inauguration. Ibrahim Traore said, "Oba Ghana, so you are free to come." And ultimately, as a relationship, okay, kaka. But recently, the same Burkina Faso they banned. If any say export of tomatoes to Ghana together with cashew, yam, man. It's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Burkina Faso, it's resolve the issue. But video actually HSA on the northern part of Ghana's border with Burkina Faso, there is tension because Burkina Faso abane say any container be a sing. And I say a year bigger than a certain feet. This particular feet are making one sem no a bit much say a 60 feet and 60 feet. It's no continent eba na and I say continent see a year or track no or tracks on eba na a brew 54 feet into me and country. We don't know the reason why they are doing that. And you know there is some huge protest that are also on the northern part of Ghana's border with Burkina Faso. There is this particular video in we will look into the other issues of it because the tension in regards to Ghana with our neighbors, not just Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and so on, a bit alarming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is it. Ghana for a year almost share border with a year Burkina Faso. One more than Yamako. You see, and you say 54 feet untimi from Burkina Faso. As to the reason why, we don't know, but we know so very soon the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will also do something about this issue, because uti some of what the traders are saying. More parts say for context, there's the Paga border. Paga border no, and I mean kasi ya block. So it's the Paga border. Kasi and Ghanaian traffic and Oma block the Paga border this particular morning. Omo halted traffic in response to a new policy Burkina Faso government I introduced. I think it's very fair enough for us to put this particular details of the screenshots. No, better screenshots. So now how this whole thing is actually manifesting in the first place, because there is a lot of concern as to what is going on. And currently, Burkina Faso is under military rule. So, I don't know, for one-on-one word here, I don't know if Ghana can fare well with, but I definitely think that Ghana will beat Burkina Faso because of the how our nation, and as how Ghana is well positioned in terms of equipment, and also how your democracy is strong. But then we are not interested in going to war with Burkina Faso. In Tosha, also Ghanaian truck drivers have blocked the Paga border this morning, halting all traffic from Burkina Faso. The protest, comes in response to a new policy introduced by the Burkina Faso or the Burkinabe government, which restricts truck longer than 54 feet from crossing into their country. So protest na with screens no. It is in response to that. According to this particular in some question, they are saying they don't really understand what is really going on. They don't understand why Burkina Faso all of a sudden they are trying to ban our Ghanaians and as our trucks from actually entering into their country. So of course a huge standoff at the northern part of our border. Yes, Paga border and no and Aminoka say as you can see, there are a lot of questions at Elcoso and also a lot of protests. So yeah, you need indemnity, and I believe these are issues. Issues I can't answer. Where issues are Sam George. All knowing Sam George, I'm saying Sam George, Okuduta Blakwa, Samu Okuduta Blakwa, where your issues are what's almost concentrating on, and yes, you issue be Palestinian Israel issues. I said you Ghana, yeshi edim, Sanya man ehunhiya. Say Israel for any Palestinian for when your talker, let them deal with their talker. Say Israel ko Bombay, Qatar, enye yasem, they have the latest technology. US can mediate peace. Now Ghana, are we even thinking of ourselves? What I say. So I was here dream need to solve this issue, because tweets any DB kasa bebrebe and we met here and we are diplomatic call and we need action on the ground. Action is what we need on the ground. So that is in relation to what is really going on at the northern part of our border. We believe as time is going on there, perhaps something should be done, because protests are people are not really happy in that particular state, and also in regards to Nsema Koso. Menoka say the new patriotic party information media ban said they'll be hitting the streets on the 23rd of September for the continuous detention of Abronye and a memo update right here on the screen soon. But then there's something which is also happening, because Oliver Baka Vomowo, said this particular man was also arrested for inciting coup against the previous MPP government. It asked MPP to hit the streets on 23rd September for continuous detention of Abronye. Surprisingly, Oliver Baka Vomowo and also Edin Simbia Babetuja said he's angry because Obilivi said Mahama is just doing the same thing that Akufo-Addo did. In fact, in his own words, Judge na Odi Abronye asem or you two for Mahama. He said Mahama Mahama mamunu cry a bon crasse a previous government as President Akufo-Addo. Now there's a video to that effect. Now pressure neighbor Martin Kpebu na air party say Abronye see charges be charges near their born on air misdemeanor. There's no need for us to keep Abronye in custody. There's no need for the government to keep Abronye in custody. What is the rationale? What's the reason behind it? And then Minuka say, Attorney General, quickly, Minuka say, within some few hours, Attorney General Edin Sembi Ababe Tuja say, they are working day in, day out because a Kamiako is a pressure na eba His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So no tuma because you see an onwaning crop for Martin Kpebu, Oliver Bakavomo, Obia say Mahama, you are abusing your rights. You see, I know you too much. Abronye misdemeanor. Release him. Into share the whole screens. So what are 3 news air cam? Or say Attorney General says he is intervening in the detention of Abronye Kpebu. So Martin Kpebu in some of the car say you see I need the Mahama Amamun say nebekwa o yin safe home because a train wreck. Bronika say train wreck and say train no bibia aircon e kwhwe ase nti Martin Kpebu say on person obeka on na that ya betene sa ewo so enu Attorney General say he's intervening in the case. Now you read a bit of the excerpts or say private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu has said the Attorney General has given an indication that he is intervening to ensure that the new Patriotic Party Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo Abronye is granted bail at least by Monday. So by Monday, Attorney General, because already a Abronye case, it was scheduled say obe appear in court next week Friday, which is the 19th of September. Now next week Friday, and appear in court. Now, your money bill 19th now. What will have happened was that MPP4 said they will have staged a protest. They did 2 screens no. They will have staged a protest on the 23rd of September 2025. Okay, and no, they will have staged a protest on MPP to hit the street on 23rd September over the detention of Abronye. So that was it. But now, Attorney General Pache said, argument ni be a man for Kano. It makes sense because the police doesn't need the court to actually give them access or give them the right to bail a person. They can bail a person if they believe any panel or may meet in own bail conditions. And Abronye onya die bia egregious and I say a big crime I was detaining. So calls are airbus also release Abronye. They are hearing. Now there's a video or say Kpebu said there was no way Abronye should be kept in custody for 1 week. He says that the fact that the judge adjourned the case for a 1 week or for a week does not mean the police will wait for a week because the courts have made it clear that they will not sit any day. They will not sit, they will sit any day. So Opate said courts need to make us you can 1 week, but 1 week that particular day next Abronye will still be in custody. Abronye doesn't have to be in custody for even 1 week today. The right process can be filed. The judge can sit today and grant Abronye bail. If we don't speak up, it will grow and become worse. So Martin Kpebu Epache says, Sena in some question. Yan can be bien for 1 year na obo Mahama di now the queen source cry na or because the queen now the source one can yinti and betcho, which to him is an abuse of power. But then question a year MPP ahiyagbo or the Simbia Babe Tuja or no surprise say Mahama catch us Mahama ayubia or was our Rollins era mindset what you say or autocrat into he gravitates towards people like Ibrahim Traore to like one or my coup d'etat military rule. I don't know, you can take the animal from the jungle, but you can't take the jungle from the animal. You go should you here by a bit to us.
How? Selective justice is happening in our country, and it's getting to a point where we must speak very, very clearly about
how
it.
Exactly
and not means we'll get into that.
Is been abused.
Well, you can see it all over the place. It's repeat and the use of state power to show people where power lies. The IGP, you're a lawyer. I think we'll get to that matter. I think that we need to get serious. This state is our country. We have selected one of us, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to manage our affairs on our behalf. He didn't possess this country for himself. It's for us. We are the people. And he is to exercise the Constitution on our behalf. He's seeing it being abused. The rights of citizens are being abused.
How?
Selective justice is happening in our country, and it's getting to a point where we must speak very, very clearly about
how
it.
Exactly
and not means we'll get into that.
Is been abused.
Well, you can see it all over the place. It's replete. Selectivity of justice in the manner we are seeing it. It's injustice.
Because I don't think your right has been abused. I don't think Doc's right has been abused. I don't think Nanaya Chimpim's.
Yes. So you want me to name people whose rights are abused? Yes. I'll get into that because that is our second. That's our second issue, our third or so issue. But I'm just saying that if for purposes of answering your question, just to put some context to it, and we'll get back to it, is one of the issues that you have. What is happening to Abronye, okay, is a classic show of power.
From who?
That weaponizing state security or the power to arrest, okay, weaponizing that to show a citizen where power lies. I think that is contrary to the Constitution and all the laws in our country, and we need to tell the president clearly that this state does not belong to him.
So clearly, you could see, say, the New Patriotic Party is of the view, say, in some and I think Mahama should take this very seriously, because for the first time, people within your own circles are telling you, say, Chief, we have a lot of issues to actually deal with. You know, you better sorry, na president say. A friend is saying, you better sorry, na president say, okochi. Obi because we do obi atema ene ekrum ha de obechi obi awo because Akufo-Addo you din atempa enya asem ketwa e pa na chidi anka ene obechi obi a, rather focus on the issues, because at the end of the day 4 years nu do a Ghana for will judge you based on your actions. They will Ghanaians will judge you on that. They won't judge you on DDA. Martin Kpebu, Abronye, Anase Kennedy, Japan, Anase Baumia Kai. They will judge you based on your records. So the question is, Diana, why you have to sell yourself? Because so ye ba be munche. I think cheba Sana Akufo-Addo eba ye de nene echna sa menu kase no afe no aso ama Akufo-Addo eni hobio. So within this time no, you have to know, say, you have every like time no day. Try as much as possible to do something and stop going after people who don't add any value to your presidency. And the people who don't add any value to your presidency, unfortunately, it be any a friend is saying Abronye. See, I know what you are doing is you are just making Abronye so popular. The same mistake, and Ubeka say, the New Patriotic Party, ene Kevin Taylor abaye a thorn in their flesh, because Kevin Taylor ayen obi enfina anka wanye den sebi wambeji din say. But then and now be sorry na Kenufriata or si misu no Akufo-Addo misu. Ken Japan kra fa car echo US. Fa plane echo US okosu papai e friend say Kevin Taylor ema echi no inimguase olusu court case poto. So sometimes no uja obi ema ni eka na munemu a at the end of the day the person is there. But all stars so some phone so they ride on your fame, they ride on your popularity, and they grow. Because you be a wuni and as will be a fame, be a urban ohia nipa or then be a scapegoat, and as or then be a branch I'll beat in the heading. Afro now are popular. So that is the whole issue. There are definitely questions. People are saying, say, Mahama should focus instead of nipa or day in there, because it doesn't really bring any better thing on the table. All right, so let's move on to this particular issue. If you've been following what has been going on social media, you realize that it is indeed a sad day in the history of America. I'm saying this in all reference to a particular young man who is a very staunch conservative. His name is Charlie Kirk. Personally, me myself, I've been following him for the past 4 or 5 years, since the inception of Donald Trump. And he's a young person who co-founded the Turning Point US. So basically, in the United States of America, for those of you who don't know, they basically have a two-party system, even though the other parties, the main party system is the Republican and also the Democrat. And the Democrat believe that you should be free to do whatever you want. You should be free to marry whoever you want. And also, they also believe that certain things like guns in the hands of people is not really right. So they call for gun control. repeal the Second Amendment, which allows people to carry and bear arms in the United States of America. On the Republican side, which houses His Excellency U.S. President Donald Trump, they believe or share conservative values. The conservative values is free speech. The conservative values, some of the conservative values is pro-guns, own a gun. You know, some of the conservative values is be able to practice your faith. Anti-abortion, they are against abortion, they are against LGBT and other stuff. And one person who have actually pioneered this particular kind of belief and message is this particular young man that I'm talking about, Charlie Kirk. But then over the course of this particular week, we saw that he was assassinated in Utah, a state in the United States of America. And then quickly he was rushed to the hospital, but then he was in critical condition. And during surgery, what we realized was that he succumbed to his injuries and then he died. But then fast track today, the FBI started tracking his killer, and then information we are getting now indicates that the killer have apparently been apprehended. Now I'll be giving you back-to-back update as to what really did happen and how the killer was even arrested. But we are getting full details according to CNN that the killer is a 22-year-old Utah student. Okay, Utah is one of the states in the United States of America, and apparently he was the person who shot Charlie Kirk. And what was his argument? Charlie Kirk was a person who held a different belief, or who held a different opinion, and that he believed that Charlie Kirk was a person who was sowing hate and division in the United States of America. Now, we'll be putting some few things on the screens, because this particular few things that we put on the screens, it kind of shows exactly where we are heading and how this particular man, who was a vibrant 31-year-old man, was just assassinated in front of the United States of America, whilst the whole world was watching him debate people who had varying opinions. Now, according to the United States of America, according to the FBI, we are learning exclusively that the person who actually committed this atrocity have been arrested. His name, the person who actually committed this crime, his name is Tyler Robbins. So we'll be putting some few things on the screen for you to see. These particular things that we're putting on the screens actually detailed the person who apparently took the life of this particular man, and it's so sad. And we're also learning, according to fresh details coming in, kind of suggests that the man, the suspect who apparently killed Charlie Kirk, or who shot Charlie Kirk in the neck, and Charlie Kirk actually lost his life, his parents actually were the people who said the picture circulating that this particular person is a suspect, we believe this particular person is our son. So they actually confronted their child actually said that he's not going to turn in. He would rather die than rather turn in and say he killed Charlie Kirk, because he believed that Charlie Kirk held a different belief. Ultimately, the parents convinced him to turn himself in, and now we can confirm that he is in custody. So for those of you who don't know this particular suspect, let's put this on the screen. As you can see on the screens, it says Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter has been identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He was turned into authorities by his own father. So this is the young man who apparently, his argument was that Charlie Kirk debates people, and Charlie Kirk was winning too many debates, and he believed that Charlie Kirk was spreading hate, telling people to believe in God, saying that killing a baby or having an abortion is against God's will, and all of these basic things basically kind of suggest that he had the belief that Charlie Kirk was actually spreading hate and division in the world. And ultimately what we saw was that he was murdered by this particular man. For those of you who don't know exactly what is really going on, we'll also be showing a video, because in the wake of his passing, there are lots of misconception and a whole lot of reaction. People are sharing their views, and people are questioning why Charlie Kirk should be assassinated, or if he was assassinated, was it part of his doing or not? So we'll be putting some few videos on the screens for you to see. And this was a man who debated people, and I think in one of these particular videos we'll also show how effective Charlie Kirk was, in terms of debating. I think we'll put this particular video on the screen screen. Charlie Kirk was so much effective in debating. So for those of you who never got a chance to follow him, you will see this was one of the best moments. This particular video will be showing on the screens, or we put it on the screen, we play on the screen very, very soon. You realize that this was one of the best moments that Charlie Kirk had when he debated a father and a son. So the father was a conservative who did not believe, was a liberal who really did not have any faith in God, and had his own belief that Trump was actually was not a good person to lead a country. And his son, on the other hand, had a belief that God exists, and he had a belief that Trump was actually the right person to lead the country. This is some of the fondest moments of Charlie Kirk, and then I'd like us to watch this particular video. When we come back, definitely there is more to talk about, because the world is actually grieving a young, brilliant guy, and many are even of the view that if this guy had lived to like 50 or 40, he could have been the president of the United States.
Hello guys, my name is Joey. I brought my father with me. He's a very liberal father.
Our family's divided. We're divided the same way the nation is divided.
I'm conservative, by the way.
Will anything ever be remedied? A nation divided against itself will not stand, neither will a family divided against itself.
Why do you think your son is conservative?
I have no clue. I'll let him answer that question.
That's a bad answer. You know, hold on a second. You as a father should listen to your son.
I listen to him all the time.
Hold on, but then you just said you don't know.
I don't know where he went so bad. I mean, come on. It's like, I don't know where he went wrong. I don't know how he went off the rails.
Would the smarter of the two like to chime in here? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I used to be at one point on my father's side. Upon doing my own research and seeing things firsthand, I've switched sides. We talk every day about politics to the point where it's divided us. And so for him to say that he does not know where I stand is
So let me ask you, do you think that maybe he wants to believe government will do good? Maybe that's...
Of course. Okay,
good. Now maybe your son is going more conservative because he thinks government hasn't done a lot of good. Is that maybe a fair charitable interpretation?
That makes relative sense.
Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Here's what I'll just say in closing, guys. Never let politics get in the way of the beautiful relationship between father and son. My advice first is for the son to the father, understand he comes from a different generational perspective. He thinks government is probably a good force. Now your son, understandably, is seeing it harder than ever to own a home. He's seen a border wide open. He's seen lies from politicians. He's seen the enrichment of the ruling class. And instead of interrupting and want to get in an edge, smartly be like, maybe my son is processing a way that I might not agree with, but he...
Okay, so that was Charlie Kirk, and this is one of the videos that actually made him stood out. He had different opinions, but then when a father and a son, one is a conservative, one is a liberal, like NDC, MPP here in Ghana, okay, two-party system, he debating them, or when both of them came up to him, he told them, both of you are right to believe in whatever you believe, and you guys should just share the love. And no matter what, don't let politics get in between yourself and your child. And I think that is the message that should be taken. You know, everyone's end will come. One day, me, myself, I will die. But then at the end of the day, what will be the message that I'll preach? Or what will be the lesson that will be... I don't know how to put it. What will people learn from me? And basically, the legacy that I've left, or the whatever I'm preaching, what will be the core value or some advice that people will take in all my life, or perhaps all my doings on earth? People will just sum it up, say, oh, Papa, you know, when he was alive, his actions A, B, C, D said that you can achieve this, or it showed that just, have love for all other persons. And Charlie's message to the world was that no matter the division or perhaps the difference of opinions, always show love, and always make sure that the politics division will not come between yourself, your wife, between yourself and your wife, yourself and your brothers and your family members, or even your loved ones or your colleague. We can have different opinions and still coexist. May his soul rest in perfect peace. We'll be ending this live with this particular video. Once again, thank you so much for watching.
Kirk was not killed because he was conservative.